Jared, how's the mood of the group after the performance on the weekend?
Oh, we were bitterly disappointed on Sunday night, and the body language of the boys on Monday, they realised that they'd probably let themselves down with their performance. But we did a thorough review, and we've moved on pretty quickly. Once the lecture room door opened on Monday night after our review, we were upbeat and moving forward to South Fremantle.
As much as you don't want to lose a final and fall through another week, could it be a nice little wake-up call to them that after winning 19 straight, that you can still be beat?
Oh yeah, look, as I've stated, that winning 19 games and finishing top doesn't guarantee you a premiership and doesn't guarantee you winning finals games, and we found that out on the weekend. We were a bit slow out of the blocks, but hopefully we can learn something from that, and hopefully if we're good enough. But knowing the character of the group, I dare say we'll be making a better show of ourselves than what we did on the weekend.
Can you put a finger on why the boys might have been slow out of the blocks? You questioned a lot of his senior players and their well, not commitment, but how they performed on the day.
No, look, there was numerous things why we didn't perform. Take nothing away from Peel. They didn't allow us to perform. But look, we were a little bit slow. We obviously had a couple of boys coming back from a few weeks out. They took probably a half to get going. We had some young fellas in their first finals experience. But take nothing away from Peel Thunder. They were very good, and as Todd experienced the week before. So you got three quality sides that are playing each other, and unfortunately we're on the wrong end of the stick in terms of losing, and we get to front up against South Fremantle to hopefully get ourselves into a grand final.
How's Liam Baker?
He's good.
He'll be right to go.
Yeah. He's got through. He's right to go. Look, I'm not going to be smart on that one, look, he copped a fair hit. When I say, look, it was apparently within the rules of 5 metres, and he's a small fella against probably the biggest bloke on the field. But look, he's a tough little character, Liam. So he was able to go back on the ground and finish off and still give us the effort that we look for. So he's right to go this week.
How did Clancy Wheeler and Kyle Horsley pull up after the game?
Yeah, good. Yeah, really good. It was one of those things with Kyle that we knew that with where he had been and him as a person, he was trying to feel himself out in terms of the speed of the game, and I felt like in the second half he really started to get his game going. So he's pulled up really well, and Clancy Wheeler was good for us too.
So you would think they'd both be better for the run?
Definitely. They'll be better for the run. They haven't shown any signs that they've been out for a while or they haven't pulled up sore. So they're right.
Todd, on the flip side, you're coming off a good win after a major wake-up call in the first week of the finals. How are your boys?
Look, as Jared said, we probably, with no disrespect to the rest of the competition, probably had a little bit of a soft lead in and came up against a really physical, strong Peel side that were ready to go. And sometimes when you're winning all the time, it maybe covers up some of the stuff they're not doing so well. So the wake-up call was really good for us. I thought we really bounced back really strongly. Probably the first 40 minutes of the game, when it was really up for grabs, we were pretty good. So, luckily for us, the result certainly didn't go down to the wire. So, we're in pretty good shape. Other than Steve Verio, who got a knock and, he won't play this week. But, it's probably sometimes if you're going to get a wake-up call, it's better when you've got another chance the next week.
You'd be knowing exactly probably what Subi are feeling like after that performance. Are they vulnerable, or are they going to be an angry bunch of lions?
Well, if I go on experience, our blokes the week before, we were bitterly disappointed as well. But Peel are pretty good at not letting you play the way you want to play. And they did it again on the weekend. So, we got a really proud group, and they were super determined to make up for it. And then, they really stood up and played well. So we'd expect a similarly fierce response from, Subi this week.
What do you see as the key to beating Subiaco?
Well, it's a final, so, regardless of the opposition, it's always a lot more of a contested brand game of footy, and, you got to take your chances. Both teams are going to make mistakes. It's, who covers them up best. And the other thing is, we've got to this point in the year, won 16 and dropped 4, I think 2 of them by a kick. So we think our brand of footy it stacks up, and we've got to be brave and bold and play our way. So we think if we do that, we'll be well placed and right in the game.
Your forward line was significantly better compared to when you played field the previous week. Ben Saunders stood up and a few of the other boys, so that would have been pleasing.
Yeah, look, I thought across the board we were much better, to be honest. Our effort the week before, barring probably a quarter of the side, was well down. So we thought our energy and our effort was certainly back up in an area. We used the ball much better, going inside 50, which obviously helps the forwards. But across the board, we were much better as a team. We had close to 22 contributors, and if you do that, you're a chance to, to be in front at the end.
You touched on Stephen Berry, very disappointing for him. He just more or less cemented his spot back in the team after a pretty much up and down year. So very disappointing for Steve. Yeah,
and look, third in our fairest and best last year, and just hasn't had any luck. Probably had 3 or 4 quite significant injuries, and every time he gets up and going again, he's sort of been chopped off. So look, he won't play this week, but we're in a pretty good position. Our program the last couple of years has allowed our players to be pretty resilient and have just about everyone available. So, barring contact injuries, we've been in pretty good shape. So, Jacob Dragovic came back in on the weekend and was pretty good. Jared Powery, Brendan Verrier, Jake Florenka. So, there's obviously other guys. Josh Pullman played reserves. Jake Solomon been pretty good in the ruck. So, look, it'll be a tough choice, but we'll pick the team that we think gives us the best chance to beat Subi. And really, that's probably why Josh Pullman missed out last week, because it just didn't suit lining up against Swan. So, we'll train, go through match committee like we do every week, and pick the team that we think will give us a win this week and keep our season alive.
You mentioned Brendan very ironically, it might be his brother that comes in to replace him. He's in contention anyway after a solid game last weekend.
Yeah, look, he was good in the two, so we know he brings great run and really improved his contested game, so he'll be in the mix.
Scotty, after your game, there was some fan backlash over Doctor's play, Clinton Peel. What do you think when you hear that?
Yeah, look, it's interesting. Obviously, spectators and supporters are very passionate. I know there was a little bit probably going on at 3/4 time just after the incident with Baker and Dawson, but it's just passionate supporters, flying the flag for their side that they support. And look, as coaches, we understand what the competition is all about. We respect the decision. It makes myself as a coach and us as a football club to want to be better every year, because that you can come up against any side, if whether it be East Perth or Peel with the AFL alignment. At the same time, you've got a quality side in South Fremantle that are bettering themselves year after year as well. So I just look at it, it's a spectator thing. They're passionate. Let it go. You just don't want it to ball over and become a violent scene, I suppose. And that's probably the disappointing thing. They've got to know where to draw the line. We're setting an example for grassroots football and that as well. You can be passionate, but I definitely believe you got to keep your attitude and your manners in check and be respectful of that. But yeah, look, it was just one of those things, I think, because it was such a tightly fought game, it was there was some madness there.
Is that the message you deliver to the players as well? Do you block it out? Or?
Look, we didn't, to be honest. The playing group didn't even notice it. You move on as players and coaches. I was only told about some little incident after the game, but look, we don't reflect on that. We had bigger things to worry about than worrying about that.
Just like for both of you, given how convincing Peel have been in finals wins so far, is there any sense that you're perhaps playing for second?
Absolutely not. Not from my point of view.
Not from mine. No. Look, I think all 3 sides finished top 3, and you had the beauty of giving yourself a double chance. And unfortunately, myself and Todd are in this position because our sides weren't good enough against Peel. But I know what we're thinking. We're thinking we're good enough to be hopefully there next week. But not speaking for Todd, but I reckon we're worrying about this week's game before we worry about anything else. And that's why I think it'll be a fantastic contest for spectators to come and see. I know there's been plenty of banter about this is the grand final. Well, no, it's not the grand final. You've got 2 good sides that are going up against each other that want to play next week and have had a strong rivalry. They won in round 1. We won in round 9, I think it is. So we'll see who comes out on top on the weekend.
Yeah, so you'd back your boys in to be much better than the previous weekend when you got beaten by Peel down there at Fremantle?
Well, if we're good enough this week to extend it, we'll worry about that sort of this time next week. But we've got a massive challenge. We've had some great games against Subi, and we look forward to the weekend. We can't wait for it to come around.